Welcome in, everybody. It's time for the DLLS Cowboys Podcast, and we are live in Indianapolis, Indiana, where there is a White Castle. And we're here at the NFL Scout of Dane Brugler from The Athletic in the final segment of the show. And before we get to those guys, we'll just set you up with all the news of the day, including, we're on the air, buddy. Pal, Champ, Tiger.
Read the chat.
Check the chat.
We're fine. Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, are we broken?
We're not broken. Keep going.
Okay.
They're 10 minutes behind us.
Oh, okay.
By the time they notice, it's been fixed.
Rock and roll.
We have a sale, though, Jeff, do we not?
We have a sale, but it's not on my screen.
Yeah, 36
Yeah, it's $36 to be a diehard.
Yeah.
Instead of the normal $80, it's a great time to sign up to be a diehard. $36 for that 1-year membership. And you also still get that free T-shirt. So take advantage of that today. So let's get you with the latest news from the Combine. There's a couple different things. One, the Cowboys hired another coach, and I think it's awesome.
It is awesome.
I think that's awesome. We're in a stare down on a kicker contract.
Yeah.
I have thoughts on that, too.
Thoughts are good.
So which way do you want to go? They hired a guy who they've talked to at the Combine, or the kicker standoff?
I want to go hire a guy.
Okay. So the Cowboys have hired Brandon Jordan, BT, and he is a pass rush specialist that's been with Denver the last couple of years, has worked with all sorts of guys in the NFL, including Micah Parsons.
That's messy. That was messy.
Well, no, I'm saying including somebody who's including Myles Garrett. I'll say
there
that.
You go.
Okay.
There you
the
go.
Best pass rushers in the league.
And Max Crosby.
So a coaching staff that was already built out, they're still adding to it by grabbing a guy that's been in Denver who has led the league in sacks, pressures, QB hits, everything, each of the last 2 seasons.
Yep.
And they're bringing a guy who's been working with those pass rushers to work with your team. And I just want to salute my Hall of Fame general manager, Jerry Jones.
It's a shoddy thing, okay? It's a CP.
I want to salute.
It's a CP.
I want to salute
CP.
my general manager, Jerry Jones, my Hall of Famer, for letting people go hire people.
Yeah.
Because forever.
Letting people do their job.
Yes. And you know what? Maybe you're not supposed to praise him for it. But in this town, I guess that town, because we're in Indianapolis, but in Dallas, that's not how it works. Like, I've campaigned forever. You are the richest organization in sports. There is no salary cap in coaching.
Right.
Add them all. And like Jerry was on the record a few years back complaining about the number of coaches they were
They had a
paying.
big staff.
Like, they've been
They had a
very
big staff.
penny pinching. This staff, they're letting them go get who they want. And it should be this way every year, but it's not. It is this year, so I salute my Hall of Fame general manager.
So you have a defensive line coach.
Yep.
An assistant defensive line coach.
Yep.
Met both of them, talked to both of them yesterday.
Yep.
An outside linebackers coach,
Yep.
which pass rush,
Yep.
3-4, that's,
Uh-huh.
and a pass rush specialist coach.
Yep.
And a defensive pass game coordinator.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I think what
Bring
separates.
them all.
Well, one, to your point, Jeff, you can do more of hiring these level of coaches when you're not going to get the former head coaches who require, who've been in the league for such a long time that they require a large salary or a larger salary. When you start going to get these younger guys, and the younger guys can bring a level of coaching just as good or more innovative as the older guys. But as you know, when you're starting out in a situation, you don't command or demand the high level numbers that someone who's been in this league, maybe have a Super Bowl or, assistant coach of the year or former head coach and may have whatever.
You don't think CP's getting that DQ money?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Is there such thing as too many cooks in the kitchen?
Look,
There's a
here's
lot of
what
cooks.
you know. What I got a
lot of
problem.
cooks
I got a problem with you
on
today,
that defensive
partner.
line.
I got a problem with you today, partner. It started early, and now this some water carrying stuff. Okay,
That's water carrying.
that's
too many
water
cooks in
carrying.
the kitchen?
No, there's not too many cooks in the kitchen. Bring every cook. If there's a dude that you think can help your football team be better at football,
I'm just asking a question.
yeah, they'll figure it out. Look, yeah, I'm the coach who does this. I'm the coach who does that. And hey, after practice, go talk to the pass rush specialist. Like, figure it out. But if you've got guys who all bring different value or different skill sets, bring me all of them. There's not a salary cap on this stuff. And if somebody's in somebody's way, get them out the way. Like, we'll figure it out.
But that's where we're at. I mean, you can even go back to youth sports now,
Yeah.
right? Even youth sports have
Special.
position specialists, right? They have football, basketball, soccer, baseball. And we all know people who have worked in a space where you are a specialist. You are designed to work a specific thing to enhance that kid or that young man or young woman's game. And I think this particular one with hiring BT, what he gives you is he's not in the game planning, right? Like his thing is more so develop these guys,
Right.
the moves.
Yeah.
Because I want you to, I want our guys to not be one dimensional. You hear Christian Park talk about we're going to be multiple.
Yeah.
Well, all right, cool. I want my guys who are going to play the interior to have good get off pass rush moves. I want my guys from the outside to have good, pass rush moves and get off moves. If we're going to be a 3-4, I want my linebackers, my rush. So it's a multitude of things that he will be able to work on with a different group of talent. Because we want Ezeraku to take the next step.
Sure
What
do.
happened last year with Ezeraku? Ezeraku didn't have multiple moves. And what ended up happening is he would run into these guys who are, 5, 6, 7 year vets in the National Football League, and he gets stuck. And he had nothing to do. He had no counter, right? There were a bunch of guys on this team last year that just didn't have enough to win naturally. They didn't have enough. They didn't have the Micah Parsons speed, right? They didn't have the Tank Lawrence power. So what ends up happening is, all right, if you're not gifted with those things, how can we develop them? And for Christian Parker is maybe my defensive line coaches don't necessarily bring those special gifts, but if I can bring in a consultant, if I can bring in a guy who's a specialist to now give us an edge, I just want to get an edge. I just want to create a situation where my players overall are giving ourselves an edge. And for CP, who was in Denver and in Philly and now in Dallas, saw the work that Jordan did, I want the advantage. I want every advantage I can get in the game because it may not happen in the first quarter. It may not happen in the second quarter. It may not happen in the third quarter. But when we get into tough football games against good opponents, I need that 1 or 2 play advantage so that my team can make the plays that get us off the field, get the turnovers or what have you. So bringing in a guy like that, I think it's a great thing that Christian Parker has done.
And I always support stealing talented people from, not that like Denver is in your division or whatever, but like if you've got a really good coach over there that's helping you be good, sure, I want him to help me, but it also means he's not helping somebody else. Yeah. And I like that. Now, Clarence, you need to walk me through what's going on with the kicker because we got, so the Cowboys made an offer.
The Cowboys made an offer.
Get paid, young brother, get paid.
And they've tried to get out front of this, and they've been trying to talk to the kicker and get a new deal done. They have made an offer to make him the highest paid kicker in the league, around $7.5 million.
Okay.
And Brendan
That's
Aubrey,
great. He should sign that. He should sign that.
And he said
he should sign that.
Todd France said.
And his agent is Todd France, Dak's
I
agent.
don't understand why you do that.
What?
What's wrong with negotiating? What's wrong with him negotiating? What's wrong with him saying, if you offer me this now, then I'm going to ask for more?
I am more anti-Jerry and anti-front office than anybody in the history of this world. And I am more pro-player than anyone in the history of this world.
Uh-huh.
My issue here is we live in an NFL where I can find a kicker. I'm not like, if I offered you to be the highest paid, and that's not like, that's fine. And you can throw whatever you want back at me.
Closed mouth don't get fed.
But I'll just tell you, here's what we're going to do.
That's fine.
You're a restricted or whatever free agent. You're going to get the second round tender, and you're going to kick for 1 year. And then next year, you're probably going to be a free agent. Like, I'm not dancing at $10 million. My kicker's not making more than Javonte Williams. I dare somebody to sign you off of the second-round tender. I dare somebody, because I'll take that second-round pick in a heartbeat.
And that's fine.
I don't need one.
Heartbeat.
I don't need one right now.
That's fine. And
You're a good
it
kicker.
may come to that.
I can find a good
But
kicker.
closed mouth going to get fed. I'm still going to
I
ask.
know.
Why you mad at him for asking?
Wait, he's a good kicker now? Just a
great
few,
kicker.
A
He's a
few
great
months ago, everyone was talking about this is one of the greatest kickers that ever lived.
He's a great kicker.
But with the calling them being greedy and the same fans that pay $100 for a parking space and $8 for a beer and a slice of pizza, $10 for a beer. You know, I mean, why are we mad at him for asking? If Jerry,
I'm not mad at him.
No, who you mad at?
I guess I'm mad at him and at Todd France. Like, it's just because, well, I guess maybe it's not even that I'm mad at them. Maybe it's just that my commentary on this particular topic is, dear Cowboys, this will be the first time ever where I stand firm with you when you tell that agent, call me back when you want to accept what we offered. The end.
Okay, that's fine.
Because we live in the 2026 world of the NFL. Every kicker's good now. Whatever they did to the ball and the rule change, like, the odds of, if you didn't have Brandon Aubrey, that you would have a bad kicker are very low. You find somebody and you'll be okay, and you'll have your kicker and it'll be fine. Like, you're not making more than my starting running back. You're the kicker.
Says you?
You're the kicker. And I can find a kicker.
If he gets 745, he would have made more than you started running back the last 2-3 years.
Well, and that's okay. That's fine, because, well, running back is also a bad example anyway, because they're not supposed to make any money anyway.
Who brought a running back?
No, I did. You got me. I did. But that's all I'm saying, is that you're a good kicker. I'm happy to have you on the football team. When we start talking about double-digit millions of dollars in a league with a salary cap, stop it. I'll find a different kicker. I dare somebody to trade me something of value. I dare somebody, if I put a second-round tender on you, to offer you a contract, because I'll tell you, have a great day.
You trust?
And I don't like campaigning against the player. I'm pro-player.
You trust this special teams coach to find a kicker?
I don't. It ain't somebody. They got a list somewhere in the back of 17 guys that'll come kick tomorrow. And you know what? I shouldn't say this one. Maybe it would make your coaches better. They cross midfield and start getting real conservative, because, well, we can kick it from 60.
That's a different conversation.
And that's a bad idea.
You're right about that.
I might want a worse kicker so that you'll just go try to score points. So, yeah, that's where I am on the kicker.
Oh, that's fine.
I'd love him to be here. Love for him to get a nice extension, be the highest paid kicker in football.
I just don't like people not you, but their fans are killing him on Twitter like he's being greedy. It's your job is to get the most you can get.
He's doing what he's supposed to do.
And the agent's job is to get the most you can get. Like, everybody's mad at David Mulligata. Now they're mad at Tom France. That's their job. And he should just take what they offer. Why?
That's right. Be grateful for what I give you, young man. No, you try to get all your money. I'm just advising the Cowboys.
DLLS called you, did you not negotiate and say, I want this and some enhancements?
Man, I negotiated for about 7 seconds. I said, well, 3% raise year to year, right? And that was all I said. And that was the negotiation. So, yeah, if he wants 3% more than he made last year, I think I could get Brandon Aubrey. That would be just fine.
30% more than the highest paid kicker. Why he want $10 million, whatever he wants. Yeah, that's why he wants this way.
For the kicker.
He wants 30% more.
I love Brandon Aubrey.
Do you?
I do. I don't want to be anti-Brandon Aubrey.
Sound like it.
So, this, as we move on from Brandon Aubrey, let's talk about Pickens.
Okay.
Because he ain't $28 million ain't the floor. 30 ain't the floor, right?
You know what? We're at the time for break anyway, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about George Pickens and everything else from the Cowboys Combine and all of those different things. We're going to do all that next, because I'll tell you what the floor is next on the DLLS Cowboys Podcast. Let's take a moment to talk about our friends at Wild Fork Foods Meat and Seafood Market. It is my favorite store. It's my favorite store in Metroplex. You got to go by Wild Fork. So good. It's where I go for all the meats. Stop going to the grocery store for your meats. Go to Wild Fork Foods, and you will be very pleased. They have over 700 different items in there, including 400 at under $10 a pound. Wild Fork Foods is the best place to buy your meats. They also do have sides there, so you can do entire meals. But I'm telling you, one time, Try it one time and see what happens. Wild Fork Foods Meat and Seafood Market. Do that instead of the grocery store. Go get your steak, your chicken, your seafood. You feeling exotic? Go get you some ostrich. They got everything you could dream of in there, and they've got super knowledgeable, friendly butchers who can help you with preparation on anything. 9 different locations. Frozen is fresher at Wild Fork Foods Meat and Seafood Market. The organic grass-fed ground beef, 85% lean, at $6 a pound. That's about the best I've seen out there. Try them out at one of their 9 area DFW locations. Learn more at wildforkfoods.com. And also, what would you guys say to free food and drinks at Community Beer Company? Air DNA is putting on a World Cup road show where what you can do is you can find out how much money you could be renting out your home on Airbnb for the World Cup, and they'll have experts that are going to help you understand how to actually get that done. They're the big player in the short-term rental data game, and they wanted to invite all the DLLS homeowners to come on out and have yourself a good time. Totally free. It's March 3rd, 6 p.m. You can RSVP at airdna.co/Dallas Roadshow. You'll also find a link in there to their World Cup calculator where you can type in your address and see how much they estimate that you could make in seconds. Check that out. Be sure to RSVP for the Air DNA World Cup Roadshow at airdna.co/Dallas Roadshow. See how much monies you could get for somebody who's swinging through for the World Cup. The link for that, of course, is in the description. Welcome back. It is the DLLS Cowboys Podcast. We're live in Indianapolis. We are out here at the NFL Scouting Combine with all things going on with your Dallas Cowboys. We've got a couple of different draft analysts and experts coming up on the show. 2 of the best in the business. Trevor Sikkema will be with us in about
Tampa
15
Bay
minutes.
Trey.
Tampa Bay Trey. Handsome man. Does a wonderful job at Pro Football Focus. We'll have Dane Brugler on towards the end of the show. So we're cooking. We're cooking today. Smash the like button on your way in. We sure would appreciate that. And Clarence, you want to talk about George Pickens?
Yeah, let's talk about George Pickens because they have not. And it's just I'm just trying to figure out why they have not put the franchise tag on him. Are they negotiating? They're not talking to him either. So it's not like they're using this time to negotiate.
Is it
right?
because they don't have to yet? Like
They don't have to
it's not
March 3rd. But
until
I mean,
free agency's about to hit, and they're just like, whatever. We're the
wait,
Cowboys.
no.
What do we do?
And I asked Steven, I'm leaning toward it, and he walked away. We're leaning that way. Of course, you're leaning that way.
Yeah.
We've been knowing that since now that y'all let Ian and everybody break the news before the Super Bowl. They were franchise tagging George Pickens. But I'm ask you something.
It better be a question. You forgot.
Cowboy personnel brought this up to me. He just was throwing scatter shooting, just spitballing.
Yeah. Fiddle farting.
3 years, $90 million, fully guaranteed.
Oh, sounds good to me. Might
Sign me
might sound good to George. Might sound good to David. Might not. Here's my guess, because this is what I think happens with the really good players. When you start talking about franchise tags,
It's fully guaranteed that 3 straight years. They'll come
and
to
that would be very rare. Normally, if you did a 3-year, $90 million contract,
you
it'd
gotta
be
put some-
60 guaranteed.
Yeah,
Like the first 2, and then
you
the
gotta
third
put
year's
some
fake.
dummy years and stuff like that.
I mean, it's at least in the ballpark of the starting point, because I think what most agents do is they take the franchise tag number
And the first
and the next franchise
yeah,
tag,
next
if you had to
year,
use
right.
it,
Next 2
which
years
is probably what, 33, 34?
Yeah.
And so I would imagine that the starting point is, in the next 2 years, it would need to average 30, 31,
Right.
something like that. So you're in the ballpark. 3 for 90, sign me up.
No, sign me up for that as well. And what you get is as an agent, as a player, I get back to the table at 28 years old, 28, 29 years old. And that's what a lot of these guys want to do. They want to get the guaranteed money, and 90 million, 60 million, and they'll probably bring him back for that 3rd year. $90 million is not bad scratch. You know what I mean? And then I get right back to the table. And if you feel like playing in this offense with this quarterback opposite of CeeDee Lamb will continue to give you the numbers that you need, $1,400 a year is a lot. I don't think that's like a consistent thing that's going to happen.
So if you offer me 3 for 90, then I'm going to come back. I want 105. 3 for 105.
35, 70, 95. Okay, what is 105?
I don't know. I thought it was
like 37 and a half a year.
Okay.
Coming in too hot.
Too hot?
35,
What
70.
about
No, 35, 70.
35 and 35.
105. No,
And
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
105. That's 105. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I thought.
35.
Okay,
Yeah.
that, right?
Sometimes I don't math so good. Yeah, and I'm sure that's what the debate will be. Is they'll say 30, they'll say 35, and they'll just. But I just don't know why you're not working on this today. Like what I hope that the Cowboys are doing, and I have no idea. This is not an accusation. This isn't being messy. This is not Recky Specky. It's none of those things. I'm just spitballing here. The day you decided you were trading for George Pickens, or when you first began discussing trading for George Pickens, you should have had 5 plans. And I don't know if they did, because you knew that you were trading for a guy in the last year of his deal. And you needed to have a plan for what if this doesn't work? What if this works?
Well, I think
What if this goes amazing? And they needed to have all those plans. And I don't know if they do. Like right now, do they know exactly what they're doing with George Pickens? Are they open to different things?
I think that'd be Stephen kind of went behind the curtain. I guess at one point in the press conference said that we gave up a third. We figured we'd get back a third if he left a free agency.
Okay, if he signed a free agent, and that's as far as they worried about it.
Yeah, we could get back a third. But they didn't. No one anticipated. I don't even think Mulugeta anticipated
1,400 yards.
I don't think so.
19. You know, I
No,
don't think
90 catches, 1,420 yards.
Out the park, you know, and there's been a report, and I was messing with Calvin because he said, well, last year they hoped to get 30 if he had a big year.
Yeah.
And everybody, well, Calvin reported that he wants 30. No, he said last year, before he had the year, that they would hope to parlay a good year into 30.
Oh, you kind of mean like when Mike was like, I don't need 40.
Right, exactly.
Until 40 came about.
Right.
He said, I don't need 40.
40
would have been the highest rate by far. And
Right.
then that wasn't true anymore, and things changed.
Yes.
You don't get to hold
so 30
old numbers.
Is not the baseline here after the year he had, especially 2 years after CD, and those guys got paid 2 years ago. And Jackson Smith and Jigma already said he wants more than 40. He wants to be the highest paid receiver.
Yeah, everybody wants all the money.
You know,
and as long as you're not the kicker,
that's
fine. You know?
But that's part of it. But Steven basically said that he's gonna be on the team. Whether it's obviously they're gonna put the tag on him.
And you have to say that anyway, right? Even if they were gonna trade him, don't you say that?
Yeah,
didn't that better chum, or at least a stronger starting position, is to say, oh, we're gonna have George.
Right. You can
love George.
as a front office personnel, you can never show your cards that.
Right.
Or is it better chum if you were like, we'll see?
No, because then I can start throwing anything at you.
And then
I have to make you believe. I have to make you believe that he's really going to be a part of what we do, so that your offer, if it comes in, is one that's.
Then at the very end, you can't wink and be like, but call me.
Let's talk about that. Is he not more valuable to you than? And everybody said, well, trading with second round pick, and you get a receiver. Can you get a receiver? Can you get a receiver in a must-win world of today that's going to help you next year to give you the number that George Pickens gave you?
Absolutely, positively no.
1,400?
Yeah, absolutely not.
That's
You're not getting that.
I don't think George gets 1,400 next year. Like this year for George Pickens was a fantastic year. It was a year that he didn't expect. For sure, the Cowboys didn't expect. They thought George was going to be a nice piece. He was going to come in and give them the 50-50 ball down the field, a red zone presence, so they could be able to score more touchdowns. And then this thing evolved into something that, to your point, that they didn't even have a contract plan for.
No, they weren't ready for this.
At the end of the season.
They weren't ready for this.
My point is this.
But
even Jackson Smith and Jigma didn't do that as a rookie. I'm just saying,
it's not his rookie. It's not his rookie year.
I know that. I'm saying as a rookie. I'm trying to win now. I'm talking about the idea that I can trade him and get the same production by even a rookie, not even 14, 13, 12. That don't happen a lot.
Can I counter you? Can I counter you?
I want to counter him too.
Let me see if our counter is the same. Let me see if our counter is the same. The question, and this is in a world where you're open to trading George Pickens. I'm not being messy. I'm just saying in that world. Your goal isn't to be better at that spot. Your goal is to still be good at that spot while being better where you suck. Like the goal would be whatever I can give for George Pickens, which my guess would be you could get a second-round pick, maybe a second-round pick and change, would be, no, I will not be better at receiver. But now, in theory, if my best player available was a receiver, I pick Carnell Tate, Ohio State. I'm just picking a name. And I can have a good receiver who makes way less. I traded Pickens. I got a second-round pick. Here's you a starting insert position here, and I got about $24 million. Here comes whatever else, and it's kind of a Jerry Jones spin, you're probably better off keeping your best players. But no, I don't, like, you can't upgrade what George Pickens just did
No.
with anyone.
Mhm.
Like, no free agent receiver,
You
no
can't
draft receiver.
You
No,
can't upgrade it singularly.
no.
Singularly, no.
Flanoy, though.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No. No. No.
Flanoy.
No.
I like Flanoy, though. Come on, John. I can't reach.
What I'm saying is that you can't upgrade the position singularly,
Yeah.
but you can upgrade your team holistically,
Right.
right? Like, because I can go get 1,400 yards different ways. I can skin I can skin an elite offensive cat many different ways. Last year they did it in the George Pickens way.
Yeah, they've done it with Jalen Tolbert as wide receiver too.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, this offense has been this offense has been a top 5, a top 3 offense with CD in them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still other guys that are out there like Pierce. There's Wan'Dale Robinson.
Alex
There's
Pierce will go run far for you.
like there are. I mean, he averaged 20-something yards a catch
Over
last
the
year.
last 2 years, he's averaging 21.8.
So you can go add an other special tight end, and now it looks different.
You know what I'm saying?
It looks different. It looks 900 over here, 600 over here. It looks 8 over here, 7 over here. Like, it can look differently to you, and you can still be successful.
Now there was something that Clayton Adams was on The Fan earlier on the Cowboys flagship, and I saw something that he said, which I think is an important reminder in this conversation, because I'm with you. Like, I'm open to, when you're talking about sports and if you're pretending you're in the front office, there's no conversation that's off limits. There's no idea that's off limits. We can talk about everything. But it sounded like when Clayton Adams was on that they were talking about Tyler Smith, and he was like, look, I'm not like telling you we're for sure doing this or that, but when we have those 3 together on the interior, we feel like it is a big strength of our team.
For sure.
And I don't know why you would want to take away from a big strength of your team. Same thing the Cowboys have at wide receiver.
Right.
Right now I have overwhelming force that you got to deal with. And so I don't want to take anything away from that. I don't want to. Maybe they're a team that's in a spot where they just realize how much they need, that it could be feasible, that you could figure out, can our team be better if we do this? But for the most part, man, I want you to just risk the future, dig in the pockets, use free agency, build a better team. Don't get rid of one of your best players.
And that's where I'm at. And that's why I brought next year as a rookie. Maybe 2-3 years, you add all those players, you get a rookie receiver, you get the draft picks, and fill in other positions, and use that money there. For the long haul, it may be best. I'm trying to win now.
Right.
And I don't know that winning now, keep what's strong. Okay? And that's what you're talking about.
As Jameis said, if you strong and I'm strong, we strong.
We're strong together.
Strong. So so that's what I'm talking about. When you trade him, it may be better in the long run. You're talking about, but as far as next year, I don't know that it's better for you next year, because you have a bona fide weapon. You have a bona fide mismatch out there.
Probably the only way that it works for you next year is, like, you can't be trading George Pickens it can't be for draft picks. Like, that could be part of it, but you would need it to be, and I mean, the only name that I'm going to think of right now is, like, it's Max Crosby, right? You would have to it's got to be player for player, because if you're telling me that the difference on this team next year is going to be that 3 or 4 rookies are going to change everything, I tell you, I'm a draft guy. No one loves draft picks and rookies more than me.
Right.
They are not going to save you. They're not going to save you if that's going to be your biggest difference. Like, hey, we're going to get rid of one of our 5 best players, but don't worry, we got some rookies coming. They can complement things.
But the money that you save,
you go spend that.
You go
on
spend
a player.
that on
And so we
on
need,
multiple veterans.
we need to address that at some point. I know we're up against the break. Talking to Steven, number one, the idea that they're not moving off of the right tackle, and they're not moving off of
Guyton.
the right tackle.
Right, that's Steele.
Steele.
They're not moving off Steele.
I agree.
Anybody think that they're going to say make a June 1st of Steele, not moving off
No.
Steele, and then not moving off Hooker? That's not the plan.
And the reason,
Okay.
Malik Hooker will be here also.
Yeah.
Well, like the
He's under
Terrence Steele
contract.
one, I do think that somewhere in that front office for at least the last 2 off seasons, they've been like, wouldn't it be nice to get that off the books? And they're looking around at the league.
Yes.
The league is starved
right
for offensive
That's-
tackles.
I was
They
told.
can't find them.
Who you going to play? Yes. So
You would have to draft one in the first round to feel good about
right,
it.
and they're going in with the plan of guy playing left there. One other thing we need to talk about it: the idea to move the money elsewhere. Just Jerry said busting the budget. Steven ain't really co-signing on busting the budget.
Yeah, but who's running this ship?
Okay,
Who's
He ain't
steering the
co-signing
Bravo
on
Eugenia?
he ain't co-signing on busting the budget.
All right, coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast, I see him right over there. A talented and handsome man, Trevor Sikkema from Pro Football Focus, is going to join us and talk Cowboys draft. That's next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. All right, let's talk about what are we going to pop up on the screen here, John? We want to talk about the sale. Yeah, we got us a sale going on, and it's a Diehard sale. You need to get the hook up here. I don't have a clock, John, so I'm going to wing it. I got you. We're at the Combine. We're giving you the best coverage of the NFL draft. And when you're signed up to be a Diehard, you get not only our coverage of the NFL draft, you get Fran Duffy from ALLCITY, a teammate of ours, and you'll have access to his scouting reports. You have access to his rankings. You have access to his board. You get all those different things. When you are signed up to be a Diehard and you're getting hooked up this week during the Combine, $36 for a 1-year Diehard membership. You still get the free T-shirt included, which is badass. You can pick whichever one you want. We got the Stay Shiesty one. I don't know if I'm allowed to say legally a player name of who that outline resembles, but it's a sweet shirt, and it sure does look good if you're going to a Cowboy game. So get yourself signed up to be a Diehard. Get yourself a free T-shirt. Get invited into our Discord where Jesse Holly continues to campaign to get a feet channel in there. But currently, we're settled on just the ones that we have. But it's a sweet community of fellow DFW diehards that you can join up with. As soon as you sign up, take advantage of an incredible deal. Get yourself a free T-shirt and get all of that stuff. Man, this one feels like a long 2 minutes, John. Probably because we're trying to move a lot of chairs around to get ready for Trevor. But yeah, lots of things are cool when you sign up to be a Diehard. You get discounts on merch and events as well. So maybe you want 500 T-shirts from the merch store and 3 hats. And 2 hoodies. Guess what? You get discounts when you are a Diehard. So take advantage when we got a discount for you here. Get signed up to be a Diehard. Join our Discord. Do all of the things. And you'll be a really happy camper. You'll be glad that you did. Do it or else, which, of course, is not a threat. Go sign up to be a Diehard. All right, welcome back, everybody. It is the DLLS Cowboys Podcast, and we are honored to be joined by one of my favorite people in the entire media game, much less when it comes to the NFL draft world, from Pro Football Focus and the co-host of the NFL Stock Exchange Podcast, the great and powerful Trevor Sikkema. How you doing, Trevor?
Jeff, I'm always excited to come on with you, but it's always a little bit intimidating because I know you do your homework.
Oh,
and
that's
so I have to be ready.
Yeah.
I have to be ready for this. So
Yeah.
whatever prospect we're going to talk about, I can't BS my way around it because you'll probably call me out.
I'm only about 80 players in, so anybody beyond the third round,
so
you
I'm
can
gonna-
lie to me
I'm
about.
going to strictly talk about guys out of the top 100 to make sure that you guys are just like, yeah, that sounds good, actually.
No, so my favorite thing, like the NFL draft is my favorite thing in sports, right? I talk about the Cowboys for a living. I love when we get to draft season. I love watching the tape. I love ranking players. I love seeing other people's rankings that don't look like mine.
Right.
I love that.
Right.
Because we're all, I think some people feel like you're disrespecting what you're doing or what other people are doing when you say, we're guessing. Like we are watching what guys do.
Oh, for sure.
Observing what we think translates and why, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera,
Yeah.
and then projecting what's going to happen. And we don't know.
Yeah.
So if the consensus is Caleb Downs is a generational safety prospect, he's absolutely incredible.
Right.
Yes, we all
Right.
agree. He's a really nice prospect.
Right.
If somebody out there liked someone else better and it's just like, I just like him better, and here's why, and they can make a good case, and like it happens a lot where the guy who picked the outlier is right in the long run, and everybody
Right.
just ignores it. It's like,
Yeah.
well, that was crazy talk. You got lucky there.
This class also should be more disagreement and less consensus, I feel like, than anything, right? Because there's so much there. I don't say this to say that there's not going to be difference makers or there's not going to be starters that you're going to get in this class, because there are, but there are so many less players that you can look at and say, hey, no matter where you land, you're going to be good. And I know, like you said, like it's kind of a where it's a bit of a fantasy to think that with anybody anyways, because landing spot matters a lot for these guys. But there's just so fewer prospects that you just go, yeah, it doesn't matter where you land, you're going to be really good. For a lot of these prospects, it's going to be a little bit about, hey, this is how I see this player sort of within a scheme, what he's asked to do, what he does really well. And I think that whenever that's the case, rankings should be kind of all over the place. So I'm actually hoping we have less consensus this year, because I think it makes it a lot more fun.
You know, Trevor, one of the things that we've experienced in the last couple of combines, there are players coming from college, getting to the combine and going, not doing anything.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm good.
Right.
I'll either go to my pro day and do stuff,
Right.
or I won't do anything at all. And you got to go off the tape, a la, Harrison Jr. when he did that a couple
Right.
years ago.
Yeah.
Like, does this class seem like more of a class that said you guys need to go out here and perform?
Yeah.
Like we need to see you out here performing.
Yeah, kind of. And obviously, I'll get asked this question a lot about, hey, what do you think about guys that are going to work out versus guys that aren't going to work out? I get tape is king, right? So I don't fault anybody for saying like, hey, just watch the tape. So
trust the tape is what I would say.
That's your little sin.
I won't. I won't. That's good. That's a good plug there. I won't punish a guy for not working out unless it's like through injury, like Jordan Tyson's whole thing, where it's like, hey, you have injury history and you're not going to work out because your hamstring's still bad after 2 months of not doing anything. That's not good. So like that's a little bit more concerning. But guys who say, I'm not going to work out, I'm not going to do anything, I won't ding them for it. But the guys who do work out, that's a little bit of a positive. I'm giving you a little bit of credit for that. Guys that want to go out there and compete. And you know what I like the most is no matter who you are, no matter how good you are, you only get to do this one time.
Yep.
The combine only happens one time in your life. It does not matter what's going to happen in your NFL career. And for a lot of these guys, they do watch this event. They'll see the 40s. They'll see the highlights. They'll see all this. Now you have an opportunity to be here yourself. And I just really, I don't know, maybe it's just the draft guy in me, but I love the fact that a lot of these guys are like, hell yeah, I'm doing something at the combine. You know, like this is my chance. This is my moment to be here in Indianapolis. And so I don't know, that's how I always view it, as a positive more than a negative.
Since we're trusting the tape,
That's a good,
we're trusting the tape.
And if you do well in this environment, your NFL stock exchange goes up.
That's true.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Sorry,
Yes,
go ahead,
it
Clint.
does.
Yeah, 1 to 2 to 3. You're right. I was just throwing in a plug for him.
Yeah, he was plugging everybody up.
I got a question. Trusting the tape, but it's a down year.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. It's
Yes.
a down year.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys need help at defensive end. They needed help at cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
And linebacker. I'm sorry.
Right. Where does
We can just
trusting the tape? Where
Kicker,
does
as soon as I get rid of
where
the kicker who
does
wants $10 million.
and Ezraku fit among this year's class at those positions?
Ooh, yeah. That's a good question. You said Ezraku, and who was the other one?
Rebel.
Oh, okay.
A healthy Rebel.
Right. So I was a big Donovan Ezraku guy. They drafted him in the second round, obviously. They drafted Tyler Booker. They drafted him at 12, right?
Yeah,
12 last year.
You would have flipped them?
I'd have flipped him. Because when they drafted Booker at 12, I was like, God, that's early for me. And then they drafted Ezraku in the second round. I was like, all right, it worked out, I guess. Like, because if you would have flipped that, I would have perfect Cowboys draft.
Yeah.
So I liked Ezraku a lot. I would probably have Ezraku. I would have Reuben Bain above him. I don't consider Arvell Reese an edge rusher. I think he's an off-ball linebacker. So Bain would be above him.
Bailey?
I think I'd actually Messidor is my edge too.
Okay.
I have Akeem Messidor as my second best edge rusher. So I would have Bain, I would have Messidor, and then I would have Ezraku and David Bailey sort of like right there. I would have one of those two guys. It kind of depends.
Okay.
Ezraku's obviously not as twitchy as a guy like Bailey is. So if you lean a little bit more into the athleticism part of it, you could lean towards Bailey's side of things. But I thought Ezraku was a lot more technically sound. I thought he won in a lot of translatable ways. I think he's better against the run. I think pound for pound, he is stronger. So it's a little bit of a different conversation, but I'd probably have Ezraku somewhere like edge 3, edge 4 in this class. And then Revel, where would I have Revel?
I'll go through my rankings, and then
Okay.
you tell me, would you have Revel ahead or behind him?
Okay.
Mansour Delane,
Behind.
Avion Terrell,
Behind.
Jermod McCoy,
Behind.
Colton Hood,
Ahead.
Chris Johnson,
ahead.
Brandon Cisse.
Right there. Like he's right
Okay,
there
so he'd
with
be corner
Cisse
4 or
for me.
5.
Yeah,
He
for
would
me.
be picked in the 20s.
I love McCoy. Like obviously the ACL, you throw that into it, but like
He'll move up as soon as I see him work out.
McCoy's 2024 is better than anybody's 2025 that I saw this past year at the cornerback position. I mean, like the dude's 6'2", 6'3", like 205 pounds. I mean, he is everything that you want as a press man corner. So
Yeah.
I absolutely love McCoy. I think he's CB1.
So Rev will be a first-round pick in this class.
Oh, well, you throw in the ACL. I mean,
I'm talking about healthy Revel.
oh, healthy Revel?
No,
Well, that's cheating.
because I think the only 3 first-rounders that I would have in this class are McCoy, Avion Terrell, and Mansour Delane. I'd take all 3 of them above Revel, and then Cisse is sort of that like late first, early second round guy, but Revel would be right there. So I'd probably consider Revel to be like an early second rounder in this class.
If you could draw up the realistics, and you know what? I need to preface. I preface so many things that I say for no reason. I don't have to do this, but
I do this a lot too. I'll start saying something, and then I'll go, actually, you know what? Let me take you back. Let me take you back, actually.
because like I just want to make sure that people understand, and I shouldn't do this because it's really just a reaction to seeing things online, which you should just ignore. But like realistic means different things to different people. People are going to tell me the Cowboys can't have player X at 12, and they're going to say it about 19 guys.
Okay,
And I remember when CeeDee Lamb was drafted, and every time I ran a simulator and he was available to me at 17 for the Cowboys, I restarted the simulator. I was like, it's not going to happen, right? And then it happened. So in whatever your version of realistic is,
Okay.
the perfect Cowboys draft, 12 and 20.
The perfect Cowboys draft is for Caleb Downs to somehow get to 12.
Or Sonny.
Yeah. I think either of those guys, which I'm becoming less and less convinced that Sonny is even making it out of the top 8 at this point.
Yeah, it used to be I thought that you had no shot at Downs.
Right.
And like Sonny
was
linebacker,
the guy. Yeah.
And in the last week, I'm like, maybe you can get Downs.
Right. So I would say the perfect scenario is probably Downs at 12, and then
What if we could get Mesidor?
yeah, I mean Mesidor at 20 or Avion Terrell at 20
Yeah.
is probably the next 2 that I would go with. So I would say that Styles or Downs is the dream at 12, and then you pair it with Mesidor and or Terrell.
So you guys are campaigning for the Cowboys to not get an edge rusher in the first round.
I threw out
Oh,
Mesidor.
maybe
We threw-
Mesidor.
we threw
Maybe
Mesidor.
Mesidor.
Well, you said okay. I thought you Terrell. Okay, I thought you.
I also think
Either one. I think either one because it kind of depends on what you think of the rest of the team building because they don't pick again until the 4th round, right?
Right.
correct.
So
For now, I'm putting the second round tender on my kicker, and I
Yeah.
dare somebody to sign him.
So in the 4th round, you could probably still get a starting outside. Yeah, you could probably still get a starting outside linebacker in this class, to be honest with you, because linebacker's deep.
Yeah.
So you could probably
House
convince
is
yourself.
burning up front.
What,
Yeah,
you
but
say, you're saying on the defensive line? You're saying?
Yeah, edge
go-
rush, the house is burning.
we have Ezra Rocco's by himself in the edge room right now.
doesn't need
It's
anybody
just
else.
him. But so also,
I believe in my boy.
well, and I also wonder because you're talking about getting out of the first round without that, and I think that is kind of what helps your guy, Akeem Mesidor, in this class.
Yeah.
Is traditionally the best prospects
Yeah.
are 20 years old. They've been, kicking butt and taking names.
Right.
But they're 20 years old. These are
Yeah.
coming at 25, and I almost feel like it's like adding a vet
Mhm.
because when you're talking about coming out of the first round without a pass rusher,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, if you really want to fix your pass rush this year, the draft's not better than free agency. You need guys who can do it, not guys that are going to come along and do it.
Right.
But maybe Mesidor's a little bit different.
Mesidor's
He's
not
an old man.
Mesidor's not for every. I love Mesidor, so I call him my fully grown adult son. He's one of my players. But look, I think that he's not for every team. Like if you're a team that's in a multi-year winning window, like you're in a multi-year rebuild, don't draft Mesidor.
Right.
There's no point. Half of his rookie contract is going to be gone. He's going to be 28 by the time that you're good. Yeah. But if you are the Lions, if you are the Cowboys, if you are the Chicago Bears sitting there at 17, 20, 25, yeah, you could absolutely draft him in the first round because he's a ready-made pass rusher for you. So the more I think about it, the more I do think that like Downs at 12 is the dream, and then I think Mesidor would probably be my next pick because you can add corners later, and obviously they have guys that they can believe in there. But yeah, I think Mesidor is great, and too often I think I've seen people go, well, he's 25 as like a you can't draft him type of a thing. And,
right.
and they'll go, well, I'd rather have this guy who's 22 instead. I was like, You're hoping that the guy you just pointed to me is as good as Messidor is when he's 25, the way that Messidor is right now.
Right.
And it's like the Family Guy quote. It's a boat's a boat, but the mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat.
Yeah.
Just get the boat. Like
Yeah.
just draft the guy who's going to be a pass rusher.
I knew John would look up and smile.
Hey, the Cowboys traded Micah Parsons, and they have a bunch of picks, and who knows? One of them could be 80% of Micah Parsons. Wouldn't that be incredible?
Yes.
Outstanding. Trevor, tell people where to find all your work, because I think that your work is absolutely amazing. And I don't lie about things like that on the air. You know.
Well, you'd say that because I gave you the compliment to start the segment, so I feel like you.
That was a counter. It was a counter.
And you have amazing teeth.
Wow, thank you.
Great teeth.
That
And
is wonderful.
Great merch.
Great teeth. Thank you. We'll be restocking the hats soon, by the way. By the way, NFL Stock Exchange, that's where you can see all my stuff. Myself and Connor Rogers covering the NFL Draft 365. And then, of course, everything over at PFF.com on the PFF Mock Draft Simulator.
It's lovely. Thank you, Trevor. We appreciate you.
Of course, guys. Appreciate you having me.
And then coming up next, we're going to have Dane Brugler on. And then we want you guys in the comments when the video's over to rank who did a better job talking about the draft between Trevor and Dane. And so that is that's coming up next. Everything we've got left in this show, plus a visit with our buddy Dane Brugler from The Athletic, is next on the DLLS Cowboys Podcast. And we do want to encourage you to take advantage of our sale. It's a lovely sale. Who doesn't like a sale? I like a sale on a boat. I do.
Sale on a goat.
I like a sailboat. I like a sale at the store. And this is basically like an estate sale, you know, where somebody unfortunately is no longer with us and you get to take advantage. But in this case, everyone's still with us. You just get a discount on being a diehard at the time of year when signing up to be a diehard gives you the most benefits. You'll get all the things you usually get, including a free t-shirt from our merch store when you sign up, which is great. You'll get into our Discord, which is great. Now, God, come on right through it. I want you to walk right. Oh, yeah, it's perfect. I want, look, ALLCITY as a team. We like it when things get wonky. It's a great time to sign up to be a diehard because you get the best coverage of the NFL draft. You get the hookup from our guy, Fran Duffy from PHLY, who is absolutely incredible. And he's got all of his rankings. You can get all the scouting reports. You can sort it by different position groups, all those different things, whatever you want to do. If you want to be ready for the NFL draft, you want to have the diehard draft guide, and you get that when you're signed up to be a diehard. It's $36 for a year right now. Normally that's $80. And so we want you to take advantage of the discount. We want you to have all of the best draft information so that on draft night, you can follow along and you can know what one of the best in the business is telling you about all these different players, because two of them are going to be Cowboys, unless we trade down, then maybe three guys. Well, maybe we trade down twice, we get 4 or 5 guys. I don't know. But either way, you want to be prepared for it. And go ahead and get you a Stay Shiesty shirt, get you an 88 Club shirt, get you whatever you like. Maybe you want one of the hockey shirts. I like they got some of the things that are like a little 8-bit, little it almost looks like it's on a Nintendo. It's good stuff. Sign up to be a diehard or else. It is the DLLS Cowboys Podcast. We are live from Indianapolis here at the Combine. We're having all the latest for you at all times about your Cowboys, and we're getting you access to all of the best draft analysts as well, and we are having ourselves a time. Any observations from podium before we do Dane? We got about 3-4 minutes.
2 things. John came down with a lunch, right? And he gave Clarence the fruit cup, which I was a tad bit offended. I thought I should have gave me the fruit cup. I just felt that way.
What
It's
happened?
okay.
I asked him first.
I know, but I just felt like it should have came to me. I don't know why.
Why?
But I just felt that
Clarence
way.
asked me for chips prior. You didn't ask for nothing.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
By the way, Jesse took a 3-hour shower last night. While we're taking shots, I just want to put that out there.
And then he did some snoring, and then he left something on his laptop that had audio. So
Y'all were taking shots at the Airbnb?
You were there when I took a shower?
Yeah, I got home.
Y'all were taking shots at Airbnb?
No, he's saying you're taking shots at me. I took shots at the bar.
Oh,
yeah.
no, we weren't doing alcohol shots. Is that what you said? Clarence thought he was left out.
No, I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking. But how you timed the shower?
Well, I just knew it was long. That's what
No,
he
he was
said.
in there for a while. It's called an exaggeration, Clarence. It's an old writing trick.
Man, stop watching the shower.
Old dog, new trick sort of thing.
He's clean. Okay.
I still don't understand why you're supposed to get the food from.
I don't know why either. I just felt like I should have said that. But
So your
John,
first observation is that John didn't get you fruit.
no, he gave me the potato salad.
No, he
I
gave
offered
you.
you
He
potato
offered you what he
salad, and
had
you said
left.
yes.
He offered me the potato salad.
What he had left.
You know, he offered Clarence the watermelon in the fruit cup.
Then
I
I
see
see
what
what
we're
we're
doing.
doing.
It was pineapple.
Oh, it's pineapple?
Don't
I see
you,
what we're
don't you
doing.
go
Oh,
there.
that's
I know what you're doing
that's
now.
got to be racist.
Did he offer?
Why is it
Did
always
he,
got to be about race?
did he offer me the potato salad?
I will have chicken after the show. Would you like some?
Now
And your potato salad got raisins in it.
it didn't. So I was gonna say my observation because in my community,
You tore that potato salad up.
in my community,
Tore that- that's,
in my community,
he tore that potato salad up.
when you come to functions, you ask a couple
Who
questions.
made
Yeah.
potato salad?
You ask the questions: who all gonna be there?
Yep.
And then if you happen to see potato salad, you ask the next question: who made the potato salad? Don't know who made that potato salad.
That's got to be racist.
Damn good.
Okay.
Damn good potato
And
salad.
so, do you have assumptions about who made that potato salad?
Somebody auntie that might be named like Cheryl,
Yeah.
Gwen.
You're saying there was melanin involved in the making.
It was melanin involved in that, the right
Wanna know
amount.
where I found it?
Where?
Men's room.
All right, man. Well, somebody uncle then. Okay.
There's a German guy
Harold.
named
Harold.
Chuck.
That's all I wanted to say.
Real
Damn good potato salad.
Real quickly, as we go into continue the last segment, the Cowboys have had formal meetings today. We got to talk to interviews with the linebackers and defensive linemen. You know, obviously those are positions of interest.
And they've had formal meetings with basically every top linebacker, every top pass rusher.
Right.
And you only get 45 formal visits at the combine. And so they're clearly using them all on defense.
Right. So the name we all know: Arvell Reed, Sonny Styles, C.J. Allen, Harold Perkins, Jacob Rodriguez, Reuben Bain, Cassius Howe, David Bailey. No Keldrick Falk.
Okay.
No Keldrick Falk.
That doesn't mean you can't draft him.
No,
it just
I'm
means
just saying.
that
No
he
Keldrick
was,
Falk.
at least to this point, has not had a formal interview with your Dallas Cowboys. So, yeah, they visited with all the top linebackers.
We do have a super chat, Jeff, as well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hit
What we
that
got?
before Dane.
Where is it? What we got?
And trusting.
Big business. Sorry, Jesse. Jeff Fafa, let's trade GP today.
Let's trade GP today?
That's all he said.
Well,
Yeah.
first I'm trying to get rid of this kicker. If it can get me a draft pick.
Why
This kicker
y'all
won $10
why
million.
y'all trying to trade GP?
We gotta get rid of. We gotta look. We
You
gotta
trying
deal
to
with
get
this
rid of
kicker
the kicker?
first.
We're trying to add talent, not lose talent. I mean,
Let's end this show with talent, okay? Because just a little bit earlier today, while he was sitting over here, I had Dane Brugler pop down for a quick little visit, and we're at the combine. So here is Dane Brugler talking Cowboys draft with you to end the show. Hello, friends. I'm here with Dane Brugler from The Athletic, the best in the business, tied for the best in the business, as our coworker, Fran Duffy, is 12 feet from me. Tied for the best in the business, Dane Brugler from The Athletic. Thank you for taking a moment. It's good to see you.
It is good to see you too. It's funny walking to the convention center this morning, and that guy looks like Jeff Cavanaugh. Is that him?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right. It's been a while, buddy. How you doing?
Good. And you didn't. I appreciate that you didn't say that you recognized me because of my leg that doesn't straighten. I got a peg leg.
I didn't want to publicly say that, but since you put it out there,
I know that gate.
I know that gate. Yeah, I'm a scout, right?
That's right.
Part of scouting is just being observant.
Well, we're going to improve it shortly. Dane, for the Dallas Cowboys, it's all we care about. It's all I care about. For the Dallas Cowboys, 2 first-round picks is super fun. If you're drawing up the world that you think the Cowboys are hoping for, what happens in the first 11? And I guess that involves, like, what names, if you're the Cowboys, are you hoping for? Because, like, I live in this world where it's almost I judge myself for it, but I feel like it's a weird draft class where there's an off-the-ball linebacker and there's a safety that at 12 I would be really happy with. And then I look at myself and I go, who are you?
Yeah.
That's gross.
Who am I talking to right
But
now?
that's probably the 2 favorites for me would be Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs. And if you're the Cowboys, does that sound right?
You're reading my mind. I mean, that's exactly where I was going to go. But you can't create something that's not there. This is what this draft is giving us. That's what this class is. And I think the theme of this year's first round, especially those top 15 picks, just draft good football players.
Yeah.
Let's not get caught up in chasing the traits, chasing upside. Let's just give me the good football players that are going to impact our roster. Both those guys, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, high floor players. So I think that you can feel really, really good that no matter how many Pro Bowls they go to, you're going to get an impact starter for your team for the next 10 years. Now, it'll be interesting to see if either fall 212, I have my doubts just because they're two of the 5 best players in this draft, in my opinion. I think I did not expect this to be the case 4 months ago, but I think the 5 best players all played their college ball in Ohio or Indiana, which is kind of crazy. But if one of them were to fall, I'll say this: I don't think they're still on the board at 13.
If one of them were to fall, which one do you think would be more likely? Because my thinking is, individually, I don't think either one falls.
Right. Agreed.
But as a tandem, I'm calling it a coin flip. Like,
right.
If it's like, hey, do you think Styles will be like, probably not. Downs, probably not, but maybe. And I don't know which one.
My guess would be it would be Downs, because with Sonny, you at least have the freakiness, right? You have the trait. He's 6'4", 240, and not like that's not inflated. He will be over 6'4". He will be over or right around 240 pounds. It might be like 238, 241. So right around 240. He'll run on the 4.5s. He just turned 21 years old. Like he skipped his senior year of high school, so he's still very young. He's a senior, but turned 21 around Thanksgiving. So I think the traitsy stuff he has, so he checks some of those boxes, and it's not to say that Downs doesn't, but he's not like the size doesn't jump out, the speed's good but not amazing. So because he doesn't have some of the freaky stuff, maybe that's what causes him to not go as high as Sonny Styles. But you can make the argument Downs is the smartest player in the draft. So I think that I think you're right. Like it is a kind of a coin flip in terms of who's going to go first, and if one were to fall, I think it could be either one.
Is there any world where the Cowboys select an offensive player at number 12?
I mean, you can't completely rule it out, but I'd be surprised, right? I mean, Jeremiah Love, as good as he is, I don't think they'd go in that direction. With the way that Pickens has really become a force player for that offense, I can't see him going receiver. I guess you can't completely rule out offensive line with this team. you can't. But the chances seem very low that they would go that way.
How do teams, maybe like if I make you a GM, because I hear from people all the time, it's like, I don't want another first-round offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm saying, I don't care what I've already done.
Sure.
I care the team I have.
Right.
And if you don't like what you have at left tackle, and your best player is, let's call it, Francis Maui Noah,
Yep.
Miami, although he's a right tackle, and so maybe that muddies it even more,
right,
and makes it even more.
But even right tackle is kind of like what's the future of that position?
I thought that he could be a cap casualty last year, but
right.
And that's what kind of draws me into thinking you've got a shot at some guys that maybe you don't. Because I think when you look at NFL free agency this year, when you look at offensive line play around the league, I think people are tackle starved.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many could go in this class. But definitely you could have 2 go before you.
Sure.
Could you see 3? And it's like, I don't know, but it does
possible.
seem like the NFL is starving for offensive tackles so much that the Cowboys are flirting with an all-pro guard playing tackle.
Right. And I think that's this is not a deep tackle class, but we're going to see 4 or 5 go in the first round. And like a guy like Monroe Freeling from Georgia, he's different than.
I like him a lot, except for the plays where I don't.
Yeah, right. That's a good way to put it. Same with every other player in this draft.
Yeah.
But like now we know, like you said, right tackle, and a lot of teams have him on the board as a guard. Spencer Fano, right tackle at Utah.
I think he's a guard.
He might be. I mean, especially after we get his official measurements here, and but he played left tackle as a freshman, and they moved him to right tackle because that's more of his natural position. So Monroe Freeling has a actual left tackle skill set, and that could give him a little bit of a bump maybe we didn't see coming. So yeah, I think if Monroe Freeling went back to Georgia for his senior year, we're talking about him as a top 10 pick in next year's draft. So I don't think it'd be a shock if he ended up going in the top 10 this year, especially to your point with how tackle starved a lot of these teams are.
Cowboys at 12 and 20, realistic dream picks from Dane Brugler.
Okay, let's go Caleb Downs at 12. And then at 20, we're sticking with. Actually, no, let's flip it. Let's go Sonny Styles at 12, and then Dylan Thieneman at 20. I think that'd
Okay.
be fun.
Oregon safety.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that'd be fun.
God, your positional value there is terrible, Dane.
is.
What a bad draft. But yeah,
That's the theme of this draft. Yeah, exactly.
It really is.
Tell me I drafted bad players, right?
No, I can't do it. And the Cowboys can't afford to miss. So let's just pick the guys that we think are really good.
Well, look, they did that last year with Tyler Booker, right? High floor player, came in at a good rookie year. You think he's going to get better in year 2.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with, hitting doubles, and you don't have to try and swing for the fences every single time you get a first-round pick.
It's Dane Brugler. Check out his work on The Athletic. When does The Beast come out?
Month. First week in April is always the goal, and this week's important to kind of get some of these last nuggets and fill in some of the context things we're missing, and then crawl into my hole for the month of March, finish it, and come back out to share it with everybody in April.
There are 318 players at this combine, but if you need information on about 4,000 players, check out The Beast when it comes out, and that's Dane Brugler. I appreciate you, buddy.
Anytime, man. Thanks.
All right, everybody. Dane Brugler, the best in the business, tied for best in the business with Fran.
Love your Fran.
There. Yeah, and he loves Fran. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. Be cool to everybody. We love you, B.
We all silly like the mayor.